Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Wednesday, August 21st, 2019. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/OtakuShowboat to leave a follow and turn on notifications to be reminded when I go live, Sundays through Fridays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. You can also follow me on Twitter at Otaku Showboat, as well as visit my website at otakushowboat.com to, see the mod lists as well as my stream schedule on the stream schedule page. So, yeah, today is probably not going to be a particularly high energy day. I apologize in advance. Yeah, so my mother did not get the job that she applied for, her most immediate next level position above her, to be the boss. So that's highly, highly unfortunate. And yeah, everyone's a little bit depressed around here at the moment. She's been the acting, or the, shall we say, the interim, filling the position as an interim person doing the job, as well as doing her current job. And that meant that she had gotten a little bit of extra pay to do the job to this point, but after the onboarding process of this new person, so now she's going to have to train her replacement and then be under that new person coming in. It's, shall we say, going to be a little bit awkward, as well as will mean that her pay will go back to what it was before this interim position that she was filling. So I'm just going to do these updates. Pie Industry had an update to the logistic tech that unlocks all of the logistics chests, so that now it will unlock after engines rather than making you wait until after you pick up the vanilla logistic robot tech. So yeah, previously, in order to actually get access to requester chests, you would have to go all the way through the tech tree, through logistic robots, which is a really long chain to get to logistic robots, in order to then unlock the chests. So now it's a bit easier to unlock those chests. And I didn't really do any playing of Factorio yesterday, I think for pretty obvious reasons, actually. Yesterday was not that great of a day, and today likely will also not be that great of a day. In fact, this probably won't be that great of a remainder of the week, because that is really, really sucky bad news, and is incredibly unfortunate. But that is how life goes sometimes. That just means that there will be an even better opportunity that will present itself. Going to have to look at it from that perspective, I think. Better things are coming soon, and if this particular opportunity had gone through, then that better opportunity would not. So, today, I was thinking about setting up some actual ground boring of copper. Setting up a unit of boring of copper, and that will act as our sort of baseline unit that can be copied and pasted for whenever we need copper, which in this case, the copper ore for will be used for the drilling fluid 1 production. So this is going to be the first little unit that will lead into drilling fluid 1. From there, it will progress into drilling into lead boring, and then into drilling fluid 2, based off of silver. And then, of course, going into chromium, and then into drilling fluid 3. As well as, like, everything else along the way, to be completely honest here. Because, yeah, we do need more copper plates. That is a thing that is needed, for one. I will need more energy for this. I also need... it's going to involve having to set up a lot more of these setups. I still don't know why they're not actually shoving in my efficiency modules. Like, really, could you, please do that? I mean, oh, you're limited by circuit 2s. That's interesting, because you're ultimately limited by ferrochromium alloys. Yeah, this is going to get us to that point, ideally, where we're going to get a lot more ferrochromium alloy going. This will give a little bit of a boost on the production of the circuit 2s for now. $144? Interesting. So, where to begin? Where to begin? Well, let's have a look at ground borers. Let us have a look-see. So, 4 to 15 per second. This, and then I want 2 of these, and I'll feed in 12 per second into the production of drilling fluid 1. Alright. So I need, let's say 500 per second on lubricant. Let's do, well, let's do power first and then do that. So this would be my power blueprint. Gives a bit over 150 net power. I need to figure out where exactly I want to place this. I think over here would be good. In fact, you know, this little box here can probably feed more than just the one setup like this. I'm thinking it absolutely can feed more than just the one setup. Also, why does it have those? Oh, because I copied this, which means I don't need that. It's part of this. See, I wish I could, like, copy this, then like remove the array, you know what I can do is I can export to string. I can copy the string of it currently existing in its current form, and then go through and be like, remove, and where's these? Remove. And I guess also remove that one, and I suppose I could keep that. Save the blueprint. Oh, right. Duh. Kill all of these, please. So I can actually successfully right-click all of these tiles, or hold right-click and drag over these individual tiles. Come on. Come on, pixels. Work with me here. There's also irony in the fact that today there is a, my mother has a grief counseling workshop for her Young Widows or Widowers group. So it's like, oh yeah, today is probably going to be a day of commiseration for a different type of grief. Alright, send that into the blueprint library, and then I'll be able to import the other one as well. In fact, you know what? The other one probably still exists in the blueprint library as, yeah, this form. And this form. Anyway, that is that. So, here's the thing. The point. Shall we say? Shall we say that this would be the point of all this? I had talked about wanting to upgrade our internet service. That's one of the potential things I said would be a thing that I would want to do should my mother have gotten the job, basically. That's what it would help to allow, would be for this to be a lot easier. However, that's obviously not the case any longer. So now, instead, come, let's say, come November, late November into December, I will no longer have a thing that I'm currently paying for, or paying off, draining money out of my accounts every month. So I would be able to afford to have us do this upgrade anyway to the internet service. And remember, I said that at the time, while the speed upgrade it is nice as part of this, I'm looking more for the lack of usage caps that will come with this upgrade. That is what I'm looking for the most, is not having a usage cap anymore. Which, yeah, that would mean I would be able to, for example, render the VODs in higher graphics settings. That's one example. I would be able to that is what I would be able to do. Now, how am I going to get this across? That is a good question. Actually, you know what? That needs to go. Yeah, that needed to go. Why does this exist? I don't even know. I don't even know. Because this all... Oh, something messed up there. Oh, there was I guess a couple of small poles that didn't get copied as part of the blueprint. Oops. Oops. Alright, so this needs to connect up with these, yet also avoid... Oh, hello, guys. Hello, my minions. So it's like I need to place, and then I need to, break. Actually, the easy way here is to do that. Because that is also a thing that you can do. Excellent. Now what this does, this incorporates these, the actual power turbines onto the network, and it provides power to the roboports here. And this allows for complete coverage. Actually, I need to do that right there. For the exception that it appears as if I don't have electrolyzer ones on the network still. They should be forthcoming, actually. Oh, and then, of course, it needs to be filled with water. Wait, what are you doing? Why does that even exist? I don't know. Filling with water. Once it hits a bit over halfway, I will break it. It will drain once the stuff that uses water picks it up. Alright, that's good. We're good. Yeah, there was like a random... You. Like, that didn't need to exist. Hello, my kitty. Sleeping comfortably next to me. Kitty doesn't really care about what's going on here today. So sad times, but times will move on. Such is the nature of everything. So, lube. Glorious, glorious lube. Now, I was tempted to do the aromatics lubricant based out of this aromatics recipe for Relesia and Faugi. This is a wild mod, yes. Yes, Pyanodons is pretty wild. And I'm close to 168 hours in, and this is what my base currently looks like. It's, this is the base. Like, this is the base. Like, there's no outposts here. It's all part of the base. So, and I'm playing in a way that is a little silly, shall we say? I'm playing from the perspective of let's make everything out of nothing. Or out of space and water, pretty much. Almost like C block. There's a pi block that exists as well. But pretty much just water into everything. That is how I am transitioning at this point. Transitioning away from the limited resources of the ore patches wherever I can. Wherever I can. And let's not forget I have the realistic ores mod installed that actually makes iron into its real unrefined color. Oxidized iron is red. Think rusty iron. And then the copper being the bluish color now. Copper being right here. Copper being bluish. Think Statue of Liberty coloration. Statue of Liberty is made out of copper. And this is what happens in exposure to air with copper after time has passed. Beautiful, wonderful time. You are missing some speed modules on that. Interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, last time, just to recap briefly, at 23 minutes in, last time I set up my Circuit 1 production on network. So on network Circuit 1s happened, which means I am now very much going to be lacking many resources used to feed these processes. Speaking of which, you go there, and I think we will be good at this point. I think we'll be good at this point in time. So, what are you lacking? Just graphite. Well, as it turns out, graphite is just coke, pretty much. And I've got coke. Like, I've got coke happening through a not as efficient process. I mean, here I get like a lot of tar and coal gas. Can I afford to like divert this coke into graphite? This is like 20 per second of coke. Would I still have enough tar to feed the 300 per second without feeding the coke back into it? I think so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down the high pressure furnace Mark II version here. Get the... Oh, that is a recipe. Wood to coal directly. I might use that at some point. But graphite, where is graphite? Productivity, please. Wow, 5 to get that? Interesting. Even out of just 5 per second. I've got 20. I've got 20 to work with here. So 20 to get 9.28. That is a lot of high pressure furnaces Mark II. Where would I put that? Is a good question. You know what? Let's put a line of 20 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dang it, I didn't want it to be blocked by stuff. 9 and 10. Do I just start with 10? Or go full on 20? Or do I even have it like this? Do I do this a little further? I think I do this a little further. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will use my robots, sure. There's 20. I will take that. And break that. So now I have Coke coming in on the network just fine. Copy, paste my logistics chests onto all of this. I probably don't have a total of 20 on the Mark II high pressure furnaces. We shall see. Maybe I do. No, I would have wanted to right-click on this one with the actual thingies. Otherwise, I'll get way too flooded with Coke in these requester chests. Alright. Give everything power. And that will be the graphite. Such a versatile setup I have here. This is actually really, really versatile by doing this. It's not an efficient means of getting coke, but it's a pretty good way of getting tar. And then using the tar for various things. So here I'm using the tar to get heavy oil that's actually going into my lubricant production, for example. So this is all giving me lubricant. It's also giving me over 300, well over 300 per second on coal gas in total. Something like that. Maybe. Light 3, there's 8 here. Yeah, 8 here. Doing 60 per second into like 35 coke or 300 tar, 250 coal gas, something like that. Plus another 50 coal gas. plus more coal gas from excess tar. I don't think I have excess tar at the moment from this setup. At least not anymore, because of the coke no longer being fed back in. Because that has the consequence of making even more tar. But yeah, this is nice. Feeding into these. Take my productivity modules, please, as best you can. Actually make good use out of the coke if you can. Energy at this point is just a matter of space, not resources. Energy is just this right now, with water supply and a kickstart from some solar panels. That's all it really is just solar panel kickstart and going from there. Interesting. So this actually does need more. Huh. This actually does need more, but not everything has efficiency modules in here yet. And not all the buildings are placed, but I think after efficiency modules, we should be okay. Or at least better. Wait. Why? Oh. Because this hasn't been placed. Alright. Just make those for me, so I can place that and give this water. This provides the coke for, or the coal, I should say, that feeds into the powerhouses. There are more convenient ways of doing self-perpetuating power. This is just a 2x2 block. It sort of fits in a little 2x2 chunk, which makes it convenient from that sense. But it appears as if these drain, it won't last overnight. So it would mean I would still need more Nexalit accumulators to last through the night. It appears as if it's enough to last, or to power it all as it stands normally. But it's just not enough stored energy to last through the night. So these 144, clearly it just needs more accumulators, which I have. I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is the production of the electrolyzers, which I do believe requires science labs. So I want to force some science lab production. So electrolyzers are here. They need labs. Looks like there's actually labs sitting. Why my guys are not doing their job is a little beyond me. And then, of course, these will go into other these electrolyzers will go into, like, making electrolyzer 2s and such, and try accumulating. They want to add, they still want 2 more in this box. You know what? I'm going to set this to, like, 2 at a time, and I'm going to throw these back into here so that we can have the construction bots deliver where they need to go, wherever they need to go, or the logistics bots take them to other things that use electrolyzers, which would be olefin and methanol. So olefins. Let's go do this over here as well. I should probably just go around to all of the buildings that need buildings and reduce the number of electrolyzers that they're trying to request, or the number of buildings that they're trying to request down to like 1 or 2. Because that's a little ridiculous. A little bit ridiculous. And then do I have methanol plants? I don't think so. L. Control F. Methan. I don't. So I don't have the methanol reactors. What are they coded? Yeah, they're coded as methanol-reactors. So that would be a thing to set up, actually, that I'm going to need relatively soon. Relatively soon. I'll go ahead and go all the way over here and add a line of 4. 4 little buildings. And these will be the methanol reactor. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have access to 4 yet, but I can't even build the 3 yet, so I'm not even worried in the slightest. But when I do have this request, I'm going to go down and do 2 on the electrolyzer, and on our combustion towers we'll do 2 or 3, whatever. Don't matter to me. But I will keep this requesting the methanol reactors. And you know what? Now we'll go down, keep 3-ish on you. Yeah, I really need to go building by building and be like, hey, don't request so much. Don't request so much building. That seems like one of the reasons why things are taking so long. Wait, what are you? Oh, Mark III combustion turbine. Ah, I see. You don't even take the Mark I? Interesting. Very interesting. Oh yeah, I suppose I should even do this with the stuff that needs the, science labs. Because the last thing I want is to be, like, holding on to 40 science labs. Just sitting in a random building somewhere. Yeah, it's like, do I really need 40? Do I really need that many tar processing units? I mean, come on. This, of course, only applies to buildings that need buildings. In order to craft, yeah, that's fine. good. What about you? Yeah, definitely scale that down a fair bit. The amount of stuff, buildings that get requested, I'm okay with the furnaces there. The amount of buildings and such that get requested depends upon the crafting speed of the assembling machine. These are fast machines, therefore... Yeah, see, I have so many science labs here now, just sitting around doing nothing, because this box was requesting 22 of the things, and I probably have multiple places where that's happening, where I've already filled up the box of the output, but it still wants to hold on to 20, so my science labs are literally going to chests to go into machines doing nothing. So let's get these electrolyzers actually going for once. I'm sure there's a lot more tweaking I can do, but I think for now I will... Ooh, yeah, see, again, this is a lot of stuff. That is a lot of circuits, buddy. That is a lot of circuits to hold on to. I don't think I want to do that. Want to hold on to that much stuff. Yeah, see, labs. Don't hold on to that many labs, please. Not like you actually have any labs to hold on to, but yeah. That's fine. I'm just looking for, like, the obscene numbers here and trying to reduce down. I think that's, for the most part, everything of particular note. Again, another 22 being held onto here that are not doing anything because I need the sulfurization units. More buildings that aren't really required to be stored in those. No, probably more than one, but don't need 22. Don't need 22, thanks. And while I'm going around here, I will eventually find where I have my Relesia. Eventually I'll find Relesia. Ooh, yeah, that would be a thing. Yeah, limit that. Please. Please. Where did I put my Relesia? I've completely forgotten if I'm even doing Relesia. I'm not. I am not even doing the Relesia. You there. Make me these. That would be very much Appreciated, thanks. Yeah, do all of that. Maybe not 1.1k circuits. Maybe not 2k of treated wood. Or 13,000 soil, that's 13 squares. Always have to be really careful. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is... I can't even destroy this anymore, because I don't have the inventory space. Well, oops. It's gonna fill completely with stuff because of the initial logistic request just going haywire overboard. There's my robot. There's the... That is an image. That is a screenshot right there. My starburst of logistic robots working. I do want a full chest of Relesia plantations. Absolutely want a full chest of Relesia plantations. How's the power doing? Yeah, that's about what I thought would happen when you suddenly force thousands of logistic bots to start working all of a sudden. Now, I do hope that this would be enough overnight storage to be valuable. You still haven't placed... You placed one. Well, that's better than nothing. That's better than nothing. This, by the way, outputs over 150 megawatts per 2x2 chunk. There are better ways, but I like this. I like this way. I like this way. So these science labs obviously are going into the electrolyzer ones. I mean, that's just clearly the thing that I'll be doing, is shoving these into the electrolyzer ones. Then we're just limited by the throughput of our stack inserter for the course of this. Hey, it actually delivered a science lab into here. That's cool. Guess I may have started backing up on those. Anyway, what is in my car? Anything of particular value? Not really. No. Nothing I can make current use of. Maybe grab those. I have some algae plantations on me. That's interesting. Speaking of which, how many do I currently have stored? Because I'm going to need a lot of those. Enough for now. Oh good, that's all done. So, this setup here that I have, this little repeatable block of mushrooms going into coal. Actually, that's one thing I was going to do. Give me my Mark II high-pressure furnaces, please, and make sure that I have all of them. Everything that I currently have produced. Bring them to me, please. Thank you kindly. I was going to check, because I think I completely overlooked this recipe. This is a 2-to-1. But productivity. This is 10 units to 8. 10 units to 8. Yeah, so if I wanted a requisite output, I would need 106 per second. Yeah, that's a big footprint. Like, that's a big, massive footprint, even bigger than this in terms of space. Yeah, kitty? You're getting up now? Are you repositioning? Yeah. Are you positioning yourself next to me? Okay, what next? So that's the way more than enough graphite, I would imagine. So I should theoretically have all of these. All of these should operate fully now, and it looks like they are. I can't believe it. All 10 are moving fully. That's interesting. I thought there would be another bottleneck. Huh. Oh, wow. You are limited on tin. I guess it's just the flight times at that point. Because I know I'm not limited by tin. Like, that much I know. As a fact, I'm not limited by tin. How is this coming along? You've got 2, 3. You've got 3 electrolyzers moving. I need all of them, though. Makes me wonder where the remaining electrolyzers are going. Well, anyway, this setup uses all of the output. That's why this is a very, very, very small little buffer here. It's a balancer, basically, making sure I can turn 10 outputs into 4 balanced outputs, 60 per second. Up here, it's the same thing, but it's instead of focusing on coal gas as the primary production thing, it is giving me coal gas, mind you. It is giving 300 and something coal gas, or 300 coal gas, and I do have it connected to the network to go out. That's not what this is for. This is for saline water. That is what this is for. It's saline water and tailings, primarily. Technically also flue gas in relatively small amounts, but I don't need the ash. And the saline water is feeding into this setup with Mark II electrolyzers to give me, and into salt, so I now have plenty of completely renewable salt, as well as sodium hydroxide being produced out of these. And the sodium hydroxide plus salt is involved in my circuit process. The sodium sulfate that's being produced here is going into the fiberboard production, which it looks like I need more raw fiber. But I guess the point of everything thus far is I wanted to make more lubricant, which means I wanted to set up I wanted to look into what it would look like to do aromatics into lubricant, with the aromatics being made from a recipe that is Fauyi plus Relesia. So that's why I have set up my automation of the Relesia plantations at this point. I need to clear some of this stuff out of my inventory. Let's kill that. What is the building involved with making aromatics out of these guys? Gasifiers. So I need gasifiers to make aromatics out of Faugi and Relesia. And then desulfurizator units to make the lubricant out of aromatics. Now, desulfurizators... Where am I making those? I know I'm making those. I will take my Relesia, thanks. Desulfurizator. Here. Needs storage tanks? Why are you not getting storage tanks? Like, that seems like something I have a lot of. Wait, what? Why you no get storage tanks? Storage... I have those, like... I think I might have 2 of those, actually. Oh, what are you... Duralumin, what? Right. So, Duralumin. Duralumin is being limited by my aluminium production at the moment. Yeah, big yawn, kitty. Big yawn. What's going on? What's going on today, huh? No one's, like, awake yet. I'm the only one up right now. Everyone's depressed today. I mean that in the very literal sense. Everyone is depressed today. Including me. Including me. Alright. Fill the thing. Make the stuff. And then give me the stuff. And don't let... Yeah, don't let other things steal it from me. I want to get an idea as to numbers of machines here. So you, out of aromatics... okay, that is the Mark 1, by the way. What about the Mark 2? Here I am trying to get Mark 1s when it's like, well, you sort of have a whole bunch of Mark 2s just sitting around. Why not use those instead? So... I'll base this around the 320 here, I guess. Or where's like an even... There isn't. 600 to 400? Yeah, I guess I can base this off of that. Unless... Oh, that's good. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks. So... let's target 400 aromatics per second, 17 of these. That seems relatively reasonable. So then it's gasifiers that make aromatics out of Relesia and stuff. There is also this organic matter and refined syngas and hydrogen recipe, which is also really nice because refined syngas can be made out of ultimately some filtration media, which The only thing that really needs that is a little bit of a pain is a bit of zinc chloride from zinc plates. And that's from the process of making the activated carbon that's involved in the filtration media. And then the actual filtration media itself, I think, is also chromium? Let me look. Where is my filtration media setup here? It is... No, it's glass. Glass and pure sand and gravel, which I've got lots and lots of that going around. And then activated carbon. A bit of activated carbon to feed this. Have I brought the filtration media all the way to the top? No. I want to do that. I want to do that because this is how I'm actually getting refined syngas in the first place, is through, yeah, right here, is through taking coal bed gas and hot air and converting it into refined syngas by adding filtration media. It's just filtration media plus coal bed and hot air. And it's not even a lot of filtration media either, which ultimately means it's like a minuscule amount of the zinc to begin with, and coke. So that is also a tempting recipe, although it would involve having the zinc in the first place. So it comes down to, do I want something like this, which, oh please, yes! Yes! If I wanted 400 some odd aromatics, well that's 10 per second Relesia, 40 per second Faugi. That's actually pretty decent. So 40 per second of Faugi on the normal recipe is 84 plantations. Bear in mind, this setup is 160. This is 160. So 84, so slightly over half of this. And then 10 per second on the Relesia. Now, Relesia are different in that they are soil and hydrogen, and that is it. So 10 per second on the Relesia. Is 26. 303 hydrogen and some soil, which is free. And then, yeah, that actually works. Like, that seems okay by me. So that would be a footprint that is much smaller than this overall. I would need 303 on the hydrogen, but I can do 5 Mark II electrolyzers with efficiency modules in them, just because. You also have a thingy there, but I think because these are free, speed is the better option here. And I mean, technically also, if I'm not too concerned about power, speed would be better for the Faugi as well. Especially since they take 2 modules, or can take 2 modules. Speed would be valuable, but again, that's more power and you're just saving space. That's all you save is space there. And here it's like, well, that would only mean 20% less space for 50% more power. overall. So I think I'm going to stick with the, so it's 26 and 84. I'll just mark that down. 26 Relesia and 84 Fallow. 5 MK2 electrolyzers. 7 MK2 gasifiers. And 17 MK2 desulfurizers. This will also give a bit of sulfur. A bit of sulfur that I may void. Because I always want the lubricant moving. Now, what's so special about this 300 value? What's special about this 300 value with copper? Well, I only need 250, so excess will go elsewhere. Actually, what happens if I were to target 250 exclusively? That would be 14,336. That just saves one gasifier. Doesn't change the math too awfully much. Saves 3 sulfurizers, and it saves like, yeah, just 2 gasifiers. But anyway, it's 300 because there are. Let's see. Will there be stuff that needs 300 per second? What does the quartz? Quartz is 300. That's what it would be, what it would mean. So I can use this setup ultimately to do any of the ground boring that requires lubricant. Granted, not gonna do that with limestone. Not gonna do that for stone either. That sounds like a terrible idea. That sounds like an awful, 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 horrible idea. Why would I ground bore stone ever? I mean, yes, it was recently buffed to give more stone, but why would I ground bore stone when I can turn iron into stone through sand extractors? Like, that seems like a much better option. Anyway, so I have what I want. Now I have to think about how to set this up. So I could do something and just ignore, like, grids and all of that, or I can actually build to a grid an actual scalable setup that can be copied and pasted. I need more inventory space for this, though. Take those away from me, and those, and those, and those, one of those. Those. Alright. No, I'm gonna need even more space. Take that, too. Let's grab the 84-ish Falgi. Come down here. Yep, that's a lot of mushrooms. Take those away. That. Oh gosh, Kitty! Kitty! Oh! My poor Cole, poor baby. Let's see, then 7 Mark II gasifiers, so 7. Bring them, please. On the way, they are on the way. Come on, bring them. Bring them to me. I'll need 26 Relesia, but I think I'm still waiting on them to be crafted. 5 Mark II electrolyzers. I'll just request the stack. Where's those other 2 electrolyzers? Oh, and then I need 17. Bring me these, please. From here, if you would. Not from a million miles away. That would be much appreciated. Oh, you're Relesia. Ah, see, I already had a building making Relesia, but that happened. So this is now, that building is now pointless existing. Right. Inventory. Please take things there away. And you didn't give me my frickin' stuff and things yet. Give me my stuff and things. Gotta bring it to me. So where did I place the actual other Relesia? Where was that? Again? Somewhere? Over here? You. Aha! 22, that's 30, so that would be enough. In fact, you can take that back. So that is enough of the Relesia, the Faugi. I've got my 17 desulfurizers. Still need those other 2 gasifiers. Alright, I got my electrolyzers. I still need those 2 gasifiers. They are on their way, on their way. Drink some coffee while waiting on these to arrive. If they'll ever arrive, I'll make my way to my grid. They can chase me down. Oh, and I guess also, yeah, I need to make sure I have water. Plenty of water. Nice, this is my grid area. Zone, shall we say. My grid zone. Now, do I want to do this over here or over here? Probably over in here and add to the grid. So the grid... Oh, it looks like I got my gasifiers. Thank you. The grid here... follows a nice little pattern. It isn't as simple as just doing the placements just because of wires and stuff being limited only to 5 wire connections, which sucks, by the way. I wonder if there is a mod that exists that changes the number of wire connections that would be great, actually. Like, that would genuinely be great to be a thing. Oh, right. I need to grab some copper. Need to grab a little copper from somewhere or other. Somewhere. Where's copper? Again? Come on, copper. Copper. Here. Thank you for some copper so I can do some wires. So yeah, I need to redo wires. Actually, I'm going to put wires right there on my hotbar. Because that shouldn't exist. Yeah, because I needed the wire going north there. Or I wanted the wire going north there. Same here, kill. Add. And that should be that for here. I need to do the same thing over here with all of these. This is the downside, as I said, is just the wiring and how the wiring works. I do absolutely hate that you're limited to 5. So every time there's these junctions, it causes issues. Cool. That should be that for now. Now I'm not going to do anything with this part of the grid yet. Sounds like folks have finally woken up around here. I will build starting in this grid. Oh, it looks like I need that to happen. What I may do, actually, is I could probably change my blueprint with the correct wiring. I don't know if blueprints save wiring is the only issue. I don't know. Don't know if they save wiring. But I do know that I think we're good now with being able to set some of this stuff up. So starting with mushrooms, obviously, I tend to like to try to work within these bounds. Now the question is, do I do this with my robots, or do I do this with belt? Because if I do this with robots, then it's just a matter of, like, keeping things separate. So I would have Faugi separate from Elysia, separate from the electrolyzers, separate from the gasifiers, separate from the desulfurizers. Versus making something that's a little bit larger and self-contained that can be copied and pasted. This is also 7 wide. Dang it. Dang it! 7? Only 7? Could I fit an 8? I don't think so, no. How sad. How sad. So if I do robot-based, instead of needing a belt in between, I could save 1 tile. Of course, then I would use robots, and it would be mushrooms on the network, and, yeah, I would have to go from there. Excuse me. So obviously I'm setting up the belt first to see how many I can fit by using belt. And then determine whether another row would fit if I used robots. It looks like this actually works out quite nicely with belt, and it's 42, which, guess what? That is exactly half of what I need. Like, that is awesome. So that means it's just 2 of this would be enough to feed the aromatics. 2 of these is enough to feed the aromatics. Now I'm just going to copy, actually paste this way, and this way, and this way. And this way. And here too. That works quite nicely. Just being there. This works very nicely. So how much water is that again for 42? 2268. I can technically feed 3 lanes off the same, but I think I may as well keep it as, or have it as 3 of these existing. 1. Really? Why does it seem like you are off? You're not. You are still in line. Really? Alright, well, I think it might be better off doing... Oop, autosave is autosaving. That works. there's the water into everything. In fact, this is already operating because we've got power. This should also be operating. All the, like, corners, actually. Wait, why? Oh, there it is. It's just because it takes little time to fill up and be awesome. Just a little bit of time. Now, yeah, I could probably, if I spaced this differently, technically fit another line in, but I like being within the bounds of the inside box as defined by these medium power poles, just as a matter of personal preference. Now, I suppose actually if I was really wanting to be conservative on the amount of stuff, is I could just place a single medium pole instead of having it on the inside like that. I could place it like here. Thing is, no, if I keep it in the exact same spot in all four corners, I could then copy paste without worrying, and then I wouldn't have to worry about the limitation anymore on the wires. Oh, yeah, that's the problem. It doesn't reach the outside. It doesn't reach the outside charging stations. Which means I would end up in a situation with that being a thing instead, and that would still give me issues with the number of wires on the big electric pole on copy paste. So I think either way I'm just screwed with that on that front. But either way, I think everything will change once I get into substations anyway. That will change the game completely once I hit substations, but you can't do substations until Circuit 3s, I think. Or what is the what's the limiting factor, or is it super steel? It is super steel. That is the limiting factor, which is molten, which is vanadium, and fuel rod Mark 1. But fuel rod Mark 1 is free. Don't even need the uranium for fuel rod Mark 1. Yeah, that is free. That is what I call free right there. That is right what I call free. By the way, fuel rod Mark 1, what is your fuel value? What is your, shall we say, fuel value? Where does it exist? Fuel rod. Fuel rod Mark 1 has, doesn't tell me, 75 megajoules. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. 75 megajoules from Coke, which has like 6 each. So you're taking 60 megajoules and turning it into 3 by 75. That's actually really good. That's really good. I should do that to fuel machines that can use fuel rods for fuel. Can all machines use fuel rods for fuel that use standard fuel sets? Good morning! Almost afternoon, but good morning. I'm just theorizing at the moment, don't mind me. I need the inserters next. Ah, right, so there is an odd number here. Yes, there is an odd number here. I am currently working on a method of getting a lot of lubricant. Enough lubricant to feed ground boring of items that require lubricant for ground boring. Ignoring the fact that I am using the mod that I authored, that changes all of the ground boring back to need lubricant. For the moment, I will transition away from that, but no matter what, at this point in time, copper ore will need lubricant. Whether or not I'm using my mod, it will be lubricant. Just add power? Yeah, just add power. Just add the stuff. If only... Ah, here we go. Yeah, so this will be bio-based aromatics into that shouldn't be there. Bio-based aromatics into lubricant. And from there, ground boring copper that will be used for the creation of drilling fluid 1, in part. I will, of course, take the opportunity to ground bore enough copper to supplement my copper plate production, but the production of... Oh, I don't have my mixers on me. The production of drilling fluid 1, which is now required to ground bore iron, as well as tin, lead, and titanium, will require copper ore. And to get enough drilling fluid in order to ground bore a yellow belt of any of those items will require approximately 12 copper per second, or 12.5 copper per second, something like that. And then copper uses lubricant, so set up your lubricant to set up your copper, to set up your drilling fluid 1, to set up, say, your lead, which can process into silver, which silver is involved in the process of your drilling fluid 2 and 3 through ethylene glycol. So silver comes from down the chain ethylene chlorohydrin, which is silver. So use your fluid 1 to get your lead, to get your silver, to get your ethylene chlorohydrin, to get your chloroethanol, to get your ethylene glycol, to get your drilling fluid 2 by also adding collagen into your hydrogen chloride and guar gum and boric acid, which are all sort of free. Your boric stuff also comes from fluid 1 at this point, I think. And then drilling fluid 2 will help you with... This is then used to do boring of chromium, which drilling fluid 3 requires everything from 2 plus chromium. So drilling fluid 3, by nature of needing chromium, will use, or you could use, fluid 2 to feed into fluid 3, and fluid 1 to flow into 2 and 3, and lubricant into fluid 1. It's a nice logical progression there that I had suggested to Pyanodon after the initial changes to using drilling fluids to several things. You're doing a dangerous ores pie game? Yeah. Don't ever need to ground bore. Yeah. Yeah. My approach has been assume no access to ores. I'm doing this even though I have access to literally everything on this map. Like, Pyanodon has watched this playthrough and has mentioned several times how much he hates this map that I've gotten because I have everything on it. Yeah, imagine the base in 5% of the space. Yeah, I actually sadly can. I would use Bob's modules if doing a space-limited base. Maybe mod it to not use gold. Or make gold tech happen earlier in that case. Because Bob's modules are really, really good. So I think I can just copy-paste this now. I need 2 times this. Love my layout. Yeah, I started... So I did a bus-based build through Circuit 2s. And then transitioned to robots. So now I am terminating my bus and going into the full robot-based layout. And now I'm starting to build on a grid layout to make things more amenable to scaling, especially with robots. But yeah, this is how it's going thus far. And then I don't have a single rail in this entire base. I have yet to even automate the production of rails. Everything was belt-based until I did robots with Circuit 2s. I need some... Oh, I apparently don't have any stuff on me anymore. My construction bots will fix that for me at some point. Or take care of that for me. So that is... Wait, why... Oh. Guess I needed an extra thingy somewhere. So I need 2 of these in order to feed what I need on the lubricant. And then, next... Yes, and I'm casually just covering over these volcanic pipes. It's like, I don't need kimberlite. Not here, anyway. Like, really, this is pointless. I've got kimberlite, like, everywhere, so it doesn't matter that I'm covering up any of it. Next is the Relesia. I only need 26. How was Blue Science after Circuit 2s? It is immediate. Like, Circuit 2 is the hard part. Well, I guess now it technically depends whether or not you've set up your stainless steel yet. If you've... Which I think you need to get to your Circuit 2s. Because it's used in a building involved in the Circuit 2s, I think. think it might be used for one thing, but as long as you have your stainless steel and your circuit 2s, yeah, you already have everything for blue science. So this is something I've said to Pyanodon too. It's like, well, if you have circuit 2s, you have blue science. Yes, molybdenum is not great. Its chain is a yellow belt in and then half of a plate per second out. It's annoying. Where do I even... Where is it? Where is it? Down further, maybe? No, that's... Where is my Molly? Molly? Wherefore art thou? Molly! Molly, right here. It's half a plate out for a freaking full yellow belt in on the Molly. Alright, how am I going to do this now? Ooh, 6 in a line. Oof, that's interesting. I need 26. Okay. And again, I need to ask myself, bots or belt? Let's space for belt, and then go from there. Now, unfortunately, I need 26, and I think I'm only going to be able to fit 24 in a single square here, which is rather unfortunate. Oh, that's, that would be 30. Alright, that's great. That's fine. Fine by me. I'll take 30. I will take 30. Just by its, spacing here. Now, do I have room to easily do the electrolyzers? I don't think so. I guess I could replace 2 with electrolyzers. Actually, no, it's not 2, is it? It's 5. What's the footprint of this? 1 by 1 smaller. Wow, Elysia is 7 by 7? Have I seen the novice post-apocalypse scenario in the Friday Fast Facts? I saw it, I haven't played around with it though. Which, yeah. Let's see. That spacing would work. Yeah, that would work. Maybe. Nah. I don't know if I like this. It's one too many. I need 26, right? So... question I was asking myself is, can I fit 5 in the space of 4? It would hang off the side. I guess I'm gonna just have 6 and hook it up like this. Actually, this doesn't work. Not here. Not this side. What about here? No, that won't work, which means that that... Oh, that will. That will. Yeah, I like this better. But it depends. Oh, that's an idea. Oh yeah, that's an idea. Yeah. I like this idea. Yeah, I like this idea a lot better. Ah, that's unfortunate. That is highly unfortunate. I've got a tile to work with. If I cut the whole thing and move it down a tile... Just one tile. Go, my minion nanobots. Then... all of these can go down one tile. So what does that do, actually, for me? Well, it just helps with the pipes, ultimately. It helps with piping, because I still need to figure out what I want to do with the oxygen. If I want to really do anything with the oxygen. I do end up having 5 and 30. 350. 375, yeah, that's fine. That is fine. Actually, what I should be checking is if... what I should be looking at is 6 to 1. Come on, 1. 75. Yeah, that's plenty. Oh, right, and I'm not taking the soil into account, am I? I'm not taking the soil into account on this. Well. Alright. If that's going to be the case, let's just ignore that, and we'll do the soil and the electrolyzing next door. Granted, I could probably just not paste that way. Grab these, place them down. Do that, and then I will need some soil extractors. Bring them to me, please. I need enough for 30. 40.91. Are you off a tile? You're frickin' off a tile. Well, that's not nice. It's off a tile. Aw. Well, I'm not gonna fix it with nanobots on, because that's just gonna mess up my inventory because it's full of mushrooms now. Oh well. Oops. Hey, kitty. You're grooming now? I guess you ate. Grooming and pulling out all your hair, all your knots. So it's okay for you to pull out your knots, but it's not okay for us to pull out your knots, huh? Does that actually feed each other? I don't think so. One would think or hope, but I don't think that works that way. So I guess I then need to... Oh, that's not good. Let's do this another way. Hey, thank you for the follow. I am streaming 10 to 1 US Eastern Time every Sunday through Friday. That's the hydrogen. Just needs to hook up to this. Thank you, robots, for all the wonderful stuff that you're bringing me. All the extra pipe. There we go. That will be that. And I still need to do, like, a whole bunch of work here. Because I need the like, belt that goes in. Like, how am I gonna do this with the pipe as well? Because I can do creative use of undergrounds. Like, that much I'm fine with. I just need... Yeah, this is the problem. Is I need space for 2 inserters here, and there's space for 1. So I don't think I'm going to do this way. If I'm not going to do this way, that means I'm going to do this the route of robots. I could do it in a hybrid method. I could move... I have a few tiles to work with. I could move everything. Nah, I'll leave it. I'll leave it. I'll just take the stuff off here. Sure. And you know what? While I'm at it... While I am at it... Sure. I will send my mushrooms into chests. In fact, that might be what I end up doing here. I will autosave 169 hours and 30 minutes. Request a bit more than that, thanks. Probably a bit more than that. And copy paste. I said copy the whole... No, not cut. And then do that. Then we can just copy the whole thing and paste there. Oh, right, the belt be in the way. There we go. You know what? Sure, you're gonna go exist right there. Yeah, that's how that will work. Oddly enough, I do have some soil on my network already. Then it's just a matter of the outputs as well as power. So the way the power is going to work, I can't do the inserters on the insides here. I have to do them on the outsides. Oddly enough, that works. That absolutely works. At least it should, anyway. Oh gosh, the train! The train of beautiful things. My Logibots. Hi. Hi, Logi. My beautiful Logibots. How are you doing on this fine day? Let's see there. Let's go across. Alright, now I need to get water. Glorious water. Let's request those. I should have plenty. That will go there. Can't reach, oh noes. Oh, right. Doink, doink, doink. Doink, doink, doink. Doink, doink, doink. Doink, doink. Aw. Aw. These are 900 kilowatts, so I want my modules that reduce their power draw absolutely in there. Okay, getting more comfortable now for our last hour for the stream. As my bros bring me stuff. Alright, power the things, power the things. What else can I put here? That's a good question. Alright, I think that means well, I was going to put enough 40.19. Oh, right, I also, cough cough, need gas vents. A gas vents 60 each. These are 37.5, so yeah, one each is more than enough. That'll keep the hydrogen going. I could use the oxygen to make some power via coal bed gas, but just Okay, gasifiers that exist here. Or, better yet, the soil extractors would be a good first bet. I need 40.91. 40.91. That is 6. And 2. And then the outputs. 7.2. Okay, how much space did I leave? Plenty. Not plenty. It's one. I need 3 tiles. I need 3 tiles, not 2. Issue is you. Wanted to see if I could just get away with, you know, that setup, but it appears not. More soil on the network, please. Locally grown and operated. Give me all of the Relesia. All of it. All of the Relesia. So that's Relesia, that's Falgi. That's the stuff to feed them. That's now time for gasifiers. It is 7. Of course, there's not enough space to fit 7 as it stands. But they don't have any gas in, only gas out, so I can do something that looks like this just fine. 400 kilowatts of power required. Nah, that's fine. give me the standard. Oh, I don't even need the standard. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? This is not a solid output in the slightest. Oh, wait, what? Didn't I say 7 gasifiers? Oh. Yeah, duh. The point. 7 gasifiers. Yeah. That's the point. Ah, joy. Oh joy, oh bliss. Speaking of bliss, and ignorance being bliss, there's totally gonna be a Matrix 4. Yeah, uh, did, did, didn't 3 have a pretty definitive ending to it? What the heck are they gonna do with 4? And still have those characters, like... Huh? Okay. Sure, do a 4th film. I mean, I think you should have probably just remade 1? Make a modern day, like current technology version of 1? Rather than 4? Or, you know, maybe at the least... do 4 with a new cast with modern tech? That would have made more sense to me, but bringing back all of the original actors, now older, especially when you know one of them is supposed to be dead in from the end of the 3rd movie. So yeah, it just confused me. It's like, okay, well, that has implications immediately for the actual story. If it's a true sequel. But anyway, it's been years since I've really seen The Matrix, and I think I've only seen 2 and 3 once, ever. I've seen 1 countless times, but I haven't really seen 2 or 3 very many times. So that was interesting news lately. Also interesting news, much more appealing news for me. Kerbal Space Program 2 is happening in 2020. That is definitely something I'm looking forward to, and I will definitely stream it. Like, no question, I will stream KSP2. By the way, I just want to note how we have now casually just made 464 units per second of aromatics. Just you know, casually 400 plus aromatics per second. Like, not even hard to do this. It's just power. Like, yeah. And then I need to put 17 desulfurizers. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this in a new, block. Yes, a new block for the desulfurizers, because this will give me the option of not using the desulfurizators. That's what, 7? And these will be done purely by stuff and things. So yeah, aromatics into lube. Definitely need a gap of 2. 14. And there's 17. And let's not forget, yet again, productivity. All of this is based on productivity and using productivity. So 408 into 315. I'm making more than that. Oh, that's sad. Oh, that's... that... Ahem, cough, cough. Right. Yeah, let's offset that a bit. Just a smidge. Yeah. I wish that the game would allow the player to decide what output goes where. That would be great. Whoops. Yeah, that would also... Sir... Lube, glorious lube. Alright. There's the lube. Beautiful, glorious lube. Oh, right. I also need to, you know, take care of the stupid stuff. Stupid stuff. Dang. Oh, that was only one, wasn't it? Dang it! Again! Dang again! Dang, part 2. Dang, part 3. Modules. Alright, I will, of course, void. Seriously? No. Boink. That is that. Oh, poor kitty. He just got shot. Poor kitty got shot. Injected. Right in the mouth. Bring that down. Bring that down. Get some... burners going. Right in here. Oh, burners. Oh. I apparently don't have any burners. Burners! Wherefore art thou? Burners. Yeah, bring me the burners. These guys are... I not have burners on my thingy burner. I'm just getting an indication here. Request. Send out. Request. Coke. Coke. Stack of it. Hey, thanks for stuff. And that should be that. That should be enough to take care of 3 sulfur for a second. Then it's all a matter of outputting the sulfur. And there we go. Really, it's taking you a little while to get that coke up here. Is that for a reason? That is for a reason. What about this? This reason? Huh. Alright. Looks like I'm still waiting on... Ooh, hello. Let's, make sure that I have my efficiency, productivity, I should say, modules where they need to be. Much better. That should help a bit. What would also help is probably just limiting the output chests. It's not like I need this many full output chests. Of graphite buffer. Also would help if that had a request. And that had a request. I will note that these are technically making 20 coke per second between the two of them. That's 10 each into here. Each of these. Just something interesting to note. Back up we go. Maybe I'll actually put my ground borers down now. So, the lubricant exists. Huzzah. It exists. everything is actually backed up because the lubricant has nowhere to go. Yeah, I like what I'm saying here. So, I could, theoretically, mind you, do my ground boring here. I'm not going to. There might be actually a more compact way of doing this where I can fit another 17 in and double this and to feed into one, feeding into over 600. I might do that at some point. Maybe. Just maybe. By the way, how is this looking? It's moving. Still waiting on those 4 electrolyzers. I am just tempted to go down and just place Mark IIs, because I have plenty of the Mark II electrolyzers hanging out, and apparently nowhere near enough of the Mark Is. But anyway, this is where I will ground bore this set, anyway, of, copper. That is off by 1. Do not be off by 1. Copper! So, don't forget, drill heads also required. The lubricant actually isn't fully attached there. Now both sides are attached, which means I can shove it out anywhere. Now, why did I not bother going the route of doing coal gas and lubricant? Well, it's because I happen to have a lot of coal gas through the other methods. My other processing of mushrooms. In fact, I can bring coal gas up, and I might actually have enough. I might actually have enough to, do everything that I need to do. I might be venting more than 300 per second at the moment. But I need to connect it to the rest of the network here. So this is my, like, quote, main line, coal gas. I'm gonna bring the coal gas up. Guess I can move it over and then up here. Yeah, that's what I'll do, is I'll move it, probably bring it up over here. There we go. I like how things are going so far. And I can't believe I've actually gotten done what I was claiming that I was going to do today. Like, oh, he talked about doing the thing, he did the thing. So he did the thing. I'm actually going to do something a little weirder. by going around, because I would rather have the pipe sort of in this zone between things. Now, the next question of the day is, do I use my robots to move the ore? Well, I'm using my robots to move soil, so I think I might be okay to use them for moving ore. Yeah. And I'm going to do this by requester chesting the drill heads. Probably request like 60 on these. But the output is going to be loaded. Use the loaders for this. There we go. So as soon as I get the drill heads brought up, that will be a whole glorious yellow belt worth of copper ore. Assuming I have the 250 coal gas. I think I do. I think I have that spare. You never know. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to overflow valve my lubricant, because currently, with my mod installed that changes all of the drilling, ground boring, I should say, recipes from whatever drilling fluid they usually require to lubricant. My current setup on... oh, this isn't gonna work. My current setup... wait, don't I have another... my lube line nearby? I don't know. Current setup for chromium is using lubricant. I should have lube over here. Yeah, lube. Lube actually goes up? What? No, you don't go anywhere. But you, however, can move. Go this way. There we go. So that will have the effect of helping out my chromium on chromium ground boring. My chromium ground boring on top of chromium ore, which, yeah, it's a thing I'm doing right now. That is totally and completely a thing that I know that I'm doing, that I know is somewhat not good. But I'm doing it anyway. And once I do plan on disabling my mod once I set up drilling fluid 2 enough to feed that chromium. That is the plan, is I'm going to do enough to feed that chromium. However, there's always a however statement involved in this. Also, copper! Glorious copper! It's a-moving. And it absolutely looks like I have enough coal gas for this. Just like I know I absolutely have enough lubricant for this. I am producing more than enough lubricant for this. Voiding sulfur now. I just... For reference, this is a way to get infinite sulfur without needing any other, like, foreign inputs. It's all water, I think. I'm pretty sure it stems from water and power, so all of the mushrooms are just water, all of the Relesia is just hydrogen from water and soil from water. So that's fine. I'm actually producing more Relesia than I need. This is just from... This is aromatics from Relesia and mushrooms. Then this makes sulfur. So yeah, I'm getting sulfur from biology stuff. And I'm burning it because down here, this little square-ish thing, this is giving me sulfur from petroleum gas, but this does require a little bit of Nextlit. This uses some Nextlit plates to convert hydrogen and carbon dioxide into olefins, and then olefins are being converted with more CO2 into petroleum gas, which, well, it's petroleum gas and light oil, in which then the light oil is being cracked into even more petroleum gas, which is then being converted with water into sulfur. So that is everything but Nextlit being renewable, so just add Nextlit to do this to get sulfur specifically. And then I'm using the oxygen here to get ultimately sulfuric acid as well as sulfur directly. So you can convert the acid. So I'm using the oxygen into coal bed gas into acid gas, which requires no other input besides hot air and coal bed gas, going into, with water, chem plants to go into sulfuric acid, so that's like free sulfuric acid right there, not even needing sulfur for it. I also am sending a bit of sulfur and iron into some sulfuric acid, but technically speaking, it's not needed by going the route of the coal bed gas from oxygen from water. So you can get sulfuric acid from water and power, if you didn't know. It also gives a fair bit of flue gas that I could use to get ash, but anyway. That, so I've got lots of sulfur, is the point. So, question number next is, do I use this space for additional ground boring and, like, pipe in additional lubricant and coal gas as needed? Or do I do drilling fluid 1 in this square, start setting up drilling fluid 1 in this square? I think I will set up the drilling fluid 1 elsewhere. So, speaking of which, drilling fluid number 1. Numero 1. Drilling fluid 1 is going to be used for mining, or ground boring. Iron, tin, lead, titanium. Those are the big ones. It will require copper, sand, guar, and water. Guar gum and water. It is done in a mixer. Now, it is the same amount as lubricant, so it's 250 per second. Actually, let me put down that and look at lead, because lead's going to be the one that I do first. So, actually, this is going to be 200. I think it's 20. Okay, so 150. That's a lot more doable. 150 on the lead. Alright, good. And then 150 is acetylene, but that's just power and buildings that I may or may not already have. Trying to think. Let me go grab some mixers, or better yet, request some mixers. I said 150, right? So that's actually quite convenient. Either way, like, the next thing to set up is guar. I just need to figure out how much guar I want to set up. Slash have to set up. And what's going to be involved in all of that. Thank you for these. So, drilling fluid 1. Drilling fluid 1, we are not targeting 250, we are targeting 150, which will be 6 mixers, by the way, just for reference. You cannot use productivity modules on drilling fluid 1, which is sad. Very, very sad. So that's half, actually, of my output, currently, of the copper ore, which is interesting to note. So 30 on sand, 1.5 on the guargum. So 1.5 on the guargum. So I want to make some notes here. Some wonderful notes. So I want 150 per second of drilling fluid 1 for 15 per second lead. This is 7.5 per second of copper ore, 30 per second of sand, sand is free, 1.5 per second of guargum, and then 1500 water per second, in 6 mixers. So, guargum, we've looked before, is pulp mills. Do I still have any pulp mills on me? I think I'm making them somewhere. Pulp mills. You. Can get rid of that now. So, you can see how this here, all of this would scale with time, right? I can do this little 5 square setup quite literally anywhere and have my full output. Interesting how they're not going down to the rest. And this can just be repeated as many times as I want to repeat it within my wonderful little squares. I need a lot of efficiency modules, don't I? Wait, why? Oh, that's just tile placement complaining. Objects are missing the material for construction. 341. Oh joy. Oh bliss. Even productivity? What's missing productivity? I don't even know. But anyway, you. So 1.5 on the Guargum, huh? 1.5. Do you take these? Nope. Nope. That'll be 4. Let's say... How do I do this again? 120 over 1.6 times 1.5. 112.5 of the guar seeds. Guar seed is done in solid separators. Solid separators. Bring me my Mark IIs. This will, of course, be what I do next time. So that would be 4 pulp mills for 112.5 per second guar seed into 1.5 per second guar gum. Dudes. On the way, 10. On the way. It's on the way, waiting for them to arrive. Seriously though, where the F? Where art thou? Wherefore art thou? Why have you... Oh. They probably... Oh, there they are. You, solid sap. Guar seeds. Also gives some, stuff. Do you? No. Of course not. So, 112.5. Right? Does that... Yeah, 112.5. Huh. 1 makes 5, huh? So 112.5 over 5. 22.5. 22.5. So 5 solid seps Mark 2. 22.5 guar per second in. Also, it makes 22.5 of organic matter. I can convert that into CO2, invent excess CO2 rather than burn organic matter. And then we get to guar, needing 22.5 per setup. I want to make that perfectly clear. This is something that would need to be repeated for every single setup that I use of this. Where is the guar? Where did I put that again? It looks like that. A cloud thing. Probably down a bit. I don't know. I give up. Request the stuff, 'cause I know it's on my network. Where are you? Where are you, you little boogers? I art blind. I be blind. I don't even see where I'm making it. Where am I making it? Here. Hello. Might want a lot of you. Like, a lot of you. Maybe store like 6. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. So, why would I need a lot of you? Because the free, shall we say, ways of getting guar, or method of guar, without lamps is a whole 0.33 per second per plantation. And sand and soil and all that. So I said 22 and a half, right? 68. Yeah, that would be 68 plantations on basic recipe. $68 on the basic recipe. Without speed. I might think it would be worth doing speed. That they do not take productivity, of course. And that would cut it down by 20%. So 22 and a half, right? So 58. It only saves me 10. 58 with speed module. Modules, plural. I think I would go with that. Alternatively, if I decide that I am okay with spending lamps, what would that change into? Well, the best recipe here is one that involves lamps is this 8 per 18. 8 every 18 seconds. It's the one without fertilizer, but it consumes a not insignificant number of lamps. This one, 22 and a half, is 26 guargum. Takes CO2, but I'm pretty sure that the amount of organic matter that comes out of this more than makes up the carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide feeds back into itself from the organic matter that you get by making the seeds from the guar. Clay involves adding some coke or coal or some other fuel into the mix to get the steam to make the clay. Sand is just sand. It's this 2.89 lamps that would be an ever so slight issue. So 26 plantations on lamp, sand, clay, water, CO2 recipe before speed. With speed, it's 22. So from there, if I have a look at, I'm pretty sure I have a mark 2. So if we look at lamps, right? We look at lamps. Lamps are glass, copper, and iron. Lots of copper and iron. Glass can be ground bored with lubricant normally. So glass is not a drilling fluid 1, I think. I'm pretty sure glass is not a drilling fluid 1. So that is fine. I've got the ability to get as much glass as I could ever want. I've got the ability to get as much copper as I could ever want. But that little bit of iron would mean having to... It like feeds back on itself. So if this 2.93, and then again, note no productivity here either, and then the copper cables. So how much plates per second is that? Copper cables do use productivity, which is why it's probably better to use the Mark IIs. Give me a stack of my Mark II factories, please. Because it has the 2 module slots here, thanks to Tiersif's mod. Yes, thank you for that. So if I add 2, this will get better with time, and I need 15. So 2, that's 7. For all intents and purposes, 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plates per second. Note that my current ability of processing ore to plates allows me to convert that 7.5 ore in that I have spare right now of the copper. I could make, I am pretty sure it's greater than a 1-to-1 on the plates with my current ability to do processing into plates. So I think I can end up with more than 12. So that the copper is fine. It's the iron that I am concerned about. And even if I do need more copper, it's these 5 tiles. It's just copy paste these 5 squares over and over and over again for however much copper I could ever desire. So that is fine as it stands. Yeah, it would just be this little bit of iron, this like 3 yeah, 3 iron per second, which would mean that if I do this setup, what I would want actually is to set up an iron first and then a lead. So an iron and then a lead to feed this. That sounds like a plan. So actually, on the way to drilling fluid 1, now I should, for reference, I do have a thingy of lamps, at least one thingy of lamps. So is it a Mark II thingy of lamps though? And then there's like finding literally the needle in the haystack. It's like, what's the one with lamps again? Or do I just set up just say, hey, do lamps. Just be like, hey, you, do lamps. And then have just the 2 with the productivity. Just do lamps. Sure. Why not? Just like make lamps there. I should have the glass already. I could also set up one of this stuff for quartz, and I could go through the quartz line again, do ground board quartz. Nice little circle that they're flying in there. I like seeing that. It's like, oh, they're going in a nice little circle all the way around. Oh, I have 6,260 Logibots now. That's pretty neat. Of course, once these boxes fill up, I will be fully backed up on stuff. In fact, it will send the lubricant down and give me more chromiums. That's fine. Fine by me. So, 22 Guargum. And lots of sand and clay. Lots of sand and clay. Lots of sand and clay. However, we have pretty much reached the end of the stream for today. I have a plan going forward in the form of the Guar, and setting up the Guar. I will need to vastly, shall we say, vastly expand out my grid. My grid setup here. I will need a lot more squares to work with. Might go north, might go west. Looks like there's a lake there to deal with if I go north, so I might expand up to like 5-ish up here and then go over. And yeah, everything will be good. So what got done today? I technically made another thingy for power. Added more accumulators to make sure it can last through the night. I'm still uncertain if this number of solar panels is actually able to fully power all of the buildings in here. We'll find out together over time. But yeah, I needed more power, so that's another 150. So now from 700 to about 850 is my max on the power draw. Oh, and I guess if I really needed to, I can hook this up to this as well, so that would be even more available solar to feed the buildings that do the power for the main base. But anyway, I did that. I did some graphite off of the coke that is coming out of the heavy oil production here. So that's a thing. I've got plenty of coke, plenty of graphite now. These guys pretty much are constantly working. I see a red light there, so maybe not all 10 are fully working at all times quite yet, but they're moving. They are moving wonderfully, and I may start at some point actually backing up on circuit 1s. Isn't that a beautiful sight? Actually having enough circuit 1s. Oh boy. Oh boy. So then ultimately the main point of the day was setting up lubricant out of mushrooms and relesia. So I had the thought, hey, how about doing lubricant instead of through heavy oil in this footprint here of doing mushrooms into coal into lubricant and coal gas and heavy oil, or not lubricant, into tar into coal gas, and then tar into heavy oil, and then heavy oil into lubricant, or even potentially doing tar to creosote to aromatics to lubricant. Instead of doing all of that, why not just do the biotic route into aromatics, and then use the aromatics for the lubricant. So that's what I did. This is its footprint. It is 5 of our little modular tiles. And I can just copy and paste wherever I want. Any individual or all. So I can do it individually, or I can do all of them at once. And get as much lubricant as I could ever desire. And this one unit is actually more than enough to feed some glorious copper. Next time, I will set up Guar. Ideally, I might copy this 1 or 2 or 3 times to get some quartz. For one, I would like some quartz, and maybe some more. Another thing of the copper, and then I also need to think about actual coal gas as well. Something dedicated to exclusively coal gas, which this used to be, but I decided to do more with my tar, so I will need to do something for coal gas to keep up with the coal gas requirements of the stuff here. With that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/OtakuShowboat to leave a follow and turn on notifications to be reminded when I go live, Sundays through Fridays, from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. I hope to see you all on the next one.